Hi friends, today we are talking about Orthorexia nervosa. I'm going to share a little bit about my experience and also give you a quick healing tip that may be helpful for you if you are suffering from orthorexia. So first off, just briefly, what is it? It is a mental illness, newer in terms of its classification and definition and growing awareness and diagnosis in the mental health clinical psychology field. When I was in grad school, it was just kind of like the new hot thing. And basically, when it manifests in someone, it manifests as being overly fixated on the purity and quality and kind of perfection of food. So it's not anorexia nervosa where you're saying like, I will not eat, always feeling, having this body image component that anorexia has, where the anorexic person looks in the mirror and, they're like this dying stick figure, skeleton person, and they see like an obese person. So there's none of the body dysmorphia, not necessarily if you're strictly dealing with orthorexia. And it's also distinguished from bulimia nervosa, where there's a distinct binge and purge kind of cycle going. So it's really a mental illness, a mental distortion, a unhealthy relationship to food where you're feeling a bit panicked and pressured about finding, obtaining, consuming only the very purest, most nutritious, most healing food. So you might be listening to that and be like, oh my god, I'm orthorexic, I'm raw vegan, or I'm whole food plant-based. Well, if you are thinking and feeling like that, like, I understand. Is when I was in grad school and eating a low-fat raw vegan diet, and people were giving presentations about this topic and talking about how basically all raw vegans and fruitarians are orthorexic, I was like, oh my god, I'm orthorexic. Like, I'm mentally ill. I have an eating disorder. I'm messed up in the head, Like, that's not a good feeling. And I just want to say at the outset here, just because you're vegan or you're raw vegan or you're fruitarian does not necessarily mean you're orthorexic. You can be orthorexic on any kind of diet, any kind of lifestyle, okay? You can have an unhealthy relationship to your food, to your body, on any kind of eating plan. Or if you don't even have an eating plan, you're like standard American diet, no real philosophy attached to the way that you eat, okay? So it's not just like if you're raw vegan or fruitarian, you're automatically orthorexic. That's just not true. Maybe it's more common in those groups. I'd like to see the data on that. That would be a cool study. But it's not, if you eat only fruits and veggies doesn't mean you're necessarily orthorexic. The distinguishing factor is like, is it causing distress in your life? So if you're raw vegan, you're eating only fruits and vegetables, and you are distressed about it, you've got the cortisol high, you are stressing, you are like pulling out your hair, like, oh my god, I have to go to the grocery store and get this, and oh, they don't have organic, and like, oh my god, like, we can't eat because they don't have organic bananas, and the lettuce is all, I can't do it, and I don't know what to cook because I'm so stressed out, and like having panic attacks and fear, and when you do sit down to eat your food, you're not even enjoying it because you don't think it's good enough, or all right, this is coming from experience, or if you're someone who you've taken it so far that you're like not eating food at all, you're almost like in the like anorexia realm because you don't see any food as being like pristine and healthy enough for you. Or if you've gone so far in the fruitarian direction where like you're only eating the fruit you can pick off a tree that has to be organic and like eaten immediately, and distress. So if you're doing that and you're healthy, that's fine. But if you're doing that and you are like severely underweight, you have no energy, you're nutritionally deficient, you're not healthy, then that would be orthorexia. So some of my experience with it, I've been of the mindset of like trying to get pure and pure and pure and doing a lot of juice cleanses and fasts and things like that, and almost like down the breatharian rabbit hole of like, I'm going to live on only juice because human beings don't need food really. And if you fast enough, you do come to realize that the human body can survive without food. And if you dry fast, you come to learn that the human body can survive without water for a really long time too. So you start thinking these thoughts. And yes, on some level, I do believe that you probably could survive without food and water. But, see, Lily's like, no, girl, eat your food. But I think you also need to be at a level of awareness and spiritual realization and health, physical body health foundation, and, yoga practitioner, other, disciplined practitioner of something, meditator at a monastery in Tibet. Like, we're talking like advanced yogi level people that are able to pull that off. And y'all, myself, I have not attained that level of enlightenment. So I will be eating my salads and my fruits for now. Okay? And that, I'm feeling really good with that. And, like I said, it's been really healing for me to eat a raw vegan diet and be learning about new ways to kind of up-level my game, add in more greens, add in, barley grass juice powder, something like that, and intuitively let my intuition guide my dietary choices within the realm of low-fat raw vegan. And having Ayurveda, having ancient Indian wisdom, tradition, inform my food choices. It's been healing to do all of that and not be in this neurotic, fear-based seeking out of what is pure, and fear-based, oh my God, I'm not doing it like good enough or whatever. So I hope you're understanding the subtleties and the nuances there. So I will go ahead and transition into the quick tip because I think that's probably enough about my experience. If y'all are curious about hearing more, I could probably talk about it in depth in a different video, and maybe I will make such a video. So for that quick tip, I just want to say, first off, you need to know, how does your orthorexia and food obsession manifest for you? Get honest, get real about that. How does it manifest for you? Be aware of that. And play with this tip if it resonates with you. So stop constantly listening to nutrition and health videos, audiobooks, and podcasts. Stop constantly reading nutrition and health related books and blogs. Stop otherwise immersing yourself in information overload with regard to nutrition and healthy lifestyle. If it's triggering you and you find you're listening to certain podcasts and it's making you feel scared about your choices and feel like your choices are not good enough when you're eating whole food plant-based diet, you're not eating oil, you're not eating salt, you know what you're doing is healthy, and yet you're consuming content that's making you feel like what you're doing is not healthy, then take a break from that content. Realize it's triggering you and either completely eliminate it or minimize it. So set a boundary around that content consumption. Maybe you only listen to one podcast episode a day, or one video a day, or read one article a day, or you set a boundary around time. You're going to consume that content, but it's only going to be 10 to 15 minutes in the morning or in the evening or whenever feels good for you. I would also strongly encourage you to find people who are sharing in the nutrition and healthy lifestyle and health niche that do not trigger you, Who are some balanced people that you can follow? Who can you actually feel motivated and inspired by without feeling triggered and fearful and guilty and thinking like you're not doing a good job? So, are there some people you can follow? I have found some. Tanny Raw is one of those people for me. I can listen to her, I can laugh, I can learn some good things, I can feel motivated, and I don't feel triggered. I don't feel like I don't feel triggered. I feel motivated and uplifted. If you could find some people like that, who motivate and inspire you and educate and inform you without making you feel that stress, then that is a great sign. So yeah, that's really my big tip. If you are constantly consuming such content on the subject and it's triggering you, first off, be aware of that. Second off, set a boundary around it, like I suggested, the various boundaries. And find some dang people to follow who don't make you feel crazy, who make you feel good, who reinforce and affirm the choices you're making and inspire you to be the very best you can be. So that's all for today, friends. Like this video if you like it, subscribe for more, check out the links in the description. Got my raw food Ayurveda books in there. They are so tasty, y'all. The recipes, oh my gosh, they are so good, and the books are very pretty. So, and we know that's the most important part, is the pictures and how pretty they are. You will find lots of information in there that will hopefully inspire you and not trigger you. So, until next time, much love to you. Take care. Namaste.